What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Moon Rock's Chop Shop out here in sunny South Florida once again, and it's hot as balls. Today's video should be relatively short. I'm noticing some things out here in the heat of Florida during the summer, so I'm gonna have to start doing some mods, either because that's the excuse that I want to give it, or I'm starting to get that itch. Whatever it is, today's video I'm gonna go over that. I'm going to go over some of the nuances you might not see, that everybody might not explain out here on YouTube and forums and whatever else. So stay tuned to see what the first one I'm going to be going with is, which I'm going to explain at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that, and we'll get right into it. What's up, guys? Before we get into the video, I just wanted to share a great product I found. If you're a current gen owner of a Civic or Integra, you guys know how much I hate the storage space on this car. So I found this great product right here, and what this product basically does is it doubles the space you have available in your center console. So if you guys want to help support the channel and you also need a great product for your car, check this out in the description below. Thanks. Before we start, I just want to thank everybody for watching. And hello to all the new subscribers, and hello to the future potential subscribers, or just even the viewers. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Hit the bell notification so you know whenever I upload. So for a lot of you that have already been following the channel for a while, I'm sure you guys know that I've kind of already done my first mod. So this won't be the first mods, but that mod, and you can go back and watch the video. It's in my channel. But the first mod I actually did was to get a Honda tune, and it was just a spur of the moment thing. It just happened. I went to the Honda event. The guys were real cool. Shout out to Honda, the whole team over there. Super cool guys. It was all love, and I just felt like I needed to do it. So I did it right there in the spur of the moment. Go check out that video to see the results and how I felt about it. But it was a great experience. So that would be my first mod. With that being said, there is a lot of things I'm noticing. It's a great gain in power for sure, but there's a lot of things I'm noticing in the heat, which is basically the power drop off. When it's really hot out here, it's really hard to stay consistent or get consistent power. So for that, I'm gonna start to modify the car to overcome those deficiencies because of the heat. So of course there are mods that are the smarter thing to do, and then there are mods that you really want to do. And then of course there's the mods which your budgets allow you to do. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on some of that stuff. I guess the first one that I should probably start with, and it's not really budget, but it is a Honda essentially, so it's still relatively cheap. But that would be, and guys, this by no means is in any order, but one of the things that I would get is the intake, the charge pipe. This is the charge pipe right here. The shadow isn't really getting it on camera very well, but it says Type S. Really cool. The charge pipe is under here. That's just like a carbon fiber cover. And then this is the intake. So one of the main things, and this is a relatively inexpensive part. It is kind of expensive, but I would go with the PRL, which I'll post in the video. But basically the PRL charge pipe, the only problem that I have with almost every charge pipe on the market is that I won't get to keep this. I think this is really cool. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to keep this Type S cover, and then get like an aftermarket charge pipe. Obviously it'll be some custom stuff, but we'll see when I get there. And then of course followed by that is I want to get the PRL intake. Now there's a lot of really interesting intakes on the market. The reason why I want to go with the PRL intake, because it has the box. It looks the most like factory engineered, and if you guys know, I think this car is pretty perfect from factory. It's built the way it's built for a reason. PRL comes the closest to that, and I think they obviously, it's a performance intake, so they come at it from performance. So everything about it, the engineering of it is perfect. There's that Venturi kit, but it looks super fancy. You know, I'm not really sure. A lot of times in my experience, the fancier the intakes, the less that they do. The more form and function intakes are usually the better ones. And then of course, can't do the charge pipe in the intake without doing the downpipe, which is covered up here, which connects to the exhaust for most of my car people, as you know. So yeah, in the front of the bay is definitely going to be charge pipe, intake, downpipe. Not going to do anything to the turbo, but I'll come back to that in a few. But yeah. Now guys, the charge pipe and the intake are definitely smart things to do, especially at first. There's another smart thing to do, and that'll be, and in my opinion, this will be even smarter to do first than the intake and the charge pipe, but that'll be the intercooler. Now the PRL intercooler is the one I'm gonna go with to kind of complete that PRL set. And the reason for this, that I'm thinking so heavy about performance parts like this, the reason for that is this. The Honda Tune is super fun, really feels good to drive. The boost and power is damn near perfect, I would say. The problem is in the heat, you can definitely see it start to drop off. I watched the boost gauge, and you know, at peak, especially in like, let's say third gear, at peak, if the car is operating under great temperatures, I usually get around 26, 27 pounds of boost. In the heat though, it only wants to hit up to 23, 24, you know, which is a huge difference. That's basically back to stock. And I'm noticing that during the especially hot days. I don't notice it early in the mornings nor at night. So particularly in the heat of the day, the car just feels sluggish, and those couple performance parts would definitely correct that. Now obviously those parts are a little bit more expensive, so you know, but definitely something to save your money up for, because especially if you want your car operating at optimal, you know, not just efficiency, but like optimal everything really. So in terms of like engine, transmission, performance, so definitely a big deal to have the correct cooling parts to get the correct air into your motor. Now obviously some of the funnest things to mod are the suspension, wheels, and tires, but obviously this is going to be pretty expensive. But the reasoning behind suspension, wheel, and tires for me anyways is the fact that I'm going to need tires, not too soon, but soon enough. I'm just about at 9,000 miles now, so tires should be coming sooner or later. I figure if I'm gonna buy the tires, I might as well buy the rims. If I'm gonna buy the rims, I might as well buy the correct lowering springs to get rid of that gap. And as well, if I'm gonna buy the springs, might as well get some spacers to get rid of this gap. See that? It's not flush at all, and it could be way better. But that setup, wheels, tires, the wheels I want, there's some end keys, they're about 2K. Tires are going to be about another, well, by the way, I'm getting 18 by 9.5s. I'm going to go a size down for my wheel setup. I just think it'll be more flush that way, look nicer. And then as well, another reason is to lower the tire price a little bit, because I don't know if you guys know, but the minute you jump up to 19, the tire prices just go crazy. So I'm going to do that to save myself a little bit of money as well. So 18 by 9.5, around $2,000, another $1,500 or, you know, around there for tires, another $600 for some H&R springs or maybe some Swift springs. I don't want a too aggressive drop, just a little bit, maybe like an inch. So that's another $600. So we're already like almost at, what is that? That's about almost 4 right there. Now, let's not forget the spacers. I'm considering at least like 200 bucks for those all the way around. So you know, that's around $4,200. So yeah, that's gonna be an expensive upgrade, but it's gonna also be a necessary upgrade when I finally need some tires. Now coming back to the turbo, which is right there. There's the oil lines that feed to it. That's the snail right there. That's where the magic happens. No, I'm not going to be upgrading the turbo, at least not now, but I'm old school, y'all. I like things a certain way, especially when I was growing up. People had these certain things called turbo timers. So I grew up in a time where my friends, neighbors, even some family members, you know, they had high performance cars, high performance turbos, and they always had a turbo timer. Now what do turbo timers do? they basically just cooled, they let your car idle after you've turned it off for a couple seconds or so the hot oil gets out of your turbo and recycles with some cooler oil as your car cools down. So I always thought turbo timers were really cool. In today's day and age, I think the engineering of that, the mechanics of that are still sound. You should be letting your turbo cool down before you just cut the car off and let the hot oil sit in there. But with that being said, motors, transmissions, turbos, pretty much everything is like at least 3 times more efficient today than it was back in like the early 2000s or the 90s. So I wouldn't say a turbo timer is completely necessary, but I just think it's a cool thing to have. It's relatively cheap, and it will save my turbo from failure later down the road. So that's probably going to be my very first, or second I should say, upgrade. Alright y'all, so that's most of the upgrades that I'm going to be intending to do, especially at first. Obviously there's a whole host of other things like short shifters and certain other aesthetic things that I definitely want to do. But I think the cooling thing is definitely, at least it's an issue for me. Regular daily driving, it's not going to affect it, but when I want that burst of power, I don't want to know that my car is being downgraded by the sheer heat out here in Florida. So some of those mods are pretty important to help negate that. And also somewhere down the line, maybe sooner than even some of these parts that I'm talking about, I'm going to be going to get the car dyno tuned. I don't know if that's a great idea before, you know, getting all the bolt-ons that I want. But it's fun, you know, that's what we're here for. Yee! So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, stay tuned to watch out for that video. I hope this kind of explains some nuance to you guys. And you know, it kind of in the process of what mods to get, whether you have this car or any other, you know, Japanese domestic product, yeah, even domestic ones. You know, some upgrades are just smart. So I hope that kind of helped you guys to understand what, you know, some possible performance upgrades could be and where to kind of go. So yeah, that should be it for this video, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, you know, comment, tell me what you guys think, tell me what you guys I should go for first. I should have mentioned that in the beginning of the video. That's also another reason why I'm doing this video, because I kind of want the opinion of others, and you guys are great at giving those opinions sometimes. So thank you to everybody in the comments. Thank you for everybody's opinions and, you know, the kind of the discourse that we have. I love it. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay tuned. Peace.